Alrighty, so in this one, I want to go over the top 10 EX units in the game, in my opinion. Zenkai's included and excluded, so yes, Zenkai's will be in this list. Forewarning, they will be at the top of the list. So, I was having some difficulty figure out if I want to make a top 5, top 10 list, and I was like, oh, well, this guy can get, like, noticeably recognized for being, like, number 7 or 8. Or this guy could be like, oh, he could have made it, but this is stopping him from making it. Well, I figured a top 10 would just make more sense to make overall, just because the top 5, I'll be honest with you, it would have been 1 non-Zenkai and then 4 Zenkais. So it's like, okay, well no shit, Zenkai's ruled the game, we know that. So I feel like a top 10 is more accurate to maybe how the people could play the game, because you could run every single one of these EXs I'm going to state, and they can actually do work and, you know, be good. So, at number 10, and understand that 10 through, I'd say, 6? Yes, 6, is kind of, there's not much of a discrepancy, so if someone is number 10, and then number 6 is, like, a little better, barely better unit, it's not that big of a discrepancy. I'd say the top 5 is where there's kind of a power creep of these EXs, but we'll get into that once we do. Number 10, I would say EX Roshi. I know a lot of people will rate him better. Stats are not very good. Firstly, he is low starred. Z ability is pretty good for Blue Dragon Ball Saga, or Blue or Dragon Ball Saga rather. He's a very good support and the only support for Dragon Ball Saga, but that's his problem. You see all this, he gets all this. When he's faced with an enemy, he wants to face girls to do more for his ki, which is kind of just like, you know, Master Roshi type of gimmick. But he's just a support that is very fragile. Now, given he has this Super Saiyan Blue-esque Vegeta main ability where you draw special arts, restore ally health by 20%, and ensure an ally sub count by 5, which is great. But it's that you need him with launch for him to properly work, because you're going to draw that green card, right? And then you have a green card, then you swap into launch, then you could swap back out with her green card, and you kind of try to gimmick the system where you can get this guy's support stacking, because you're green carding in and out with launch, then you have Roshi there, you're getting that support stack, because every time he enters the battlefield, boom, 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 these are his effects. So, I understand why people would see him as very good. I see him as alright. I think he is fun as fuck to use with Dragon Ball Saga team, but the problem is, you're only going to run him on Dragon Ball Saga. That team is not necessarily the ideal team in, you know, PvP right now. Now, by the way, again, another mention, these EX units I know you will not see more often than not, at least the top, you know, 6 of them, but it's just the best of the worst, because the EX units are essentially the worst versions of Sparkings, because lower rarity, lower stats, given they do have their own equipment, they just aren't up to snuff, most of them, for the current metas that we are in. But yeah, EX Roshi, number 10. I would say number 9 actually has changed to me. Originally, number 9 was going to be this EX Sin, but since GT has been super buffed out the ass, he's actually pretty formidable with all the support he can offer, and how he screws over Super Saiyans, with Super Saiyans being so meta-relevant. So number 9 has changed from him to EX Videl. If you don't know, this EX Videl came out a while ago. She is an actual very good tank. She has double defenses, 2 girls or red. It's a very vast ability. Applies flying effect self when this character enters the battlefield. 20% damage received, or damage inflicted, and then reduced damage received by 20%. Then, the longer she's out, 3 counts, strike damage up, 8 counts, strike cost down, then 12 counts, 20% damage inflicted, then this resets. Then she can get cut, reduce damage received by 30% until combo ends when changing cover. So I would say this Videl is actually pretty slept on, because I don't think girls have like a competent red, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think girls have like a god tier red option. Yeah, they don't. Like, they had this Trunks and Mai, but it's like, is that really someone you want to run on a all girls team? And you have a launch, but still. Girls are more strike-based with Android 18. I would say that EX Videl is actually a pretty good offensive and defensive unit for the team. So, I rate her number 9. Again, discrepancies between number 10 through 6 are not that big, so you might say one's better than the other. It's just my personal opinion that I feel like how I'm rating this list is how I am perceiving them in-game, from my limited experience playing against them and with them. So at number 8, I'm at a standstill here. I want to say EX Krillin. I want to say this EX Sin, but obviously I'm going to say EX Sin because GT is actually a real team. Now, in this rating, I feel like teams are a lot more important to rate just because EX is a very squishy. They're not going to live extended combos unless you're maybe EX Future Gohan, who's, you know, a Zenkai unit. They're very squishy, so they're relying on their teams, and the support ones are probably the best of the worst because they know they're meant to die, so they kind of add that into their kit where it's like, okay, if this guy dies, I believe he removes 2 Dragon Balls from the enemy, right? Yeah, reduce enemy Dragon Balls by 2 and his character's defeated. So it's like he acknowledges his own shittiness of his stats, and he kind of plays that into his kit. That's why I feel like this guy is good. On top of supporting for GT, he will support for Shadow Dragons as well, once we do get them, most likely for Anniversary. And then this, Saiyans, like I said, I thought it was only for Super Saiyans, but it's even better that's for Saiyans. I might even rate him higher then. Flying Effects Kuro when facing an enemy tag Saiyan. Inflict enemy attribute downgrade -1 to Arts Card draw speed level for 20 timer counts, and 20% damage received for 20 timer counts. And just draw a special arts card next, activate twice, which is very good because it heals and it gives ki. And then if you maybe want to use it on Super Saiyan 4 Goku or Vegeta, you can get card draw speed with Goku, or make your strike into blast with Vegeta, or even Super 17, get more green cards to stall out the fight. He's very good. He's a very good support. Plays into his kit well with how squishy he is, and he acknowledges it and just takes it and lets him die. He just doesn't mind dying. That's what I love about units. Some units that don't mind dying, like that EX Trunks I showed earlier, he doesn't mind dying because he's helping my team even more when he's dead. Those type of units are really the showstoppers of the matches because they don't care. They just kind of exist for you to be able to make mistakes, and if you make mistakes early on, then you'll know how to correct them later on and actually win the match. So, for number 7, again, another issue, I would say, maybe an issue, huh? An issue, I would say, is, like, EX Krillin here, I would rate him high, right? But team-wise, he just doesn't make the cut. I was thinking between EX Gogeta, EX Yamcha, and where is he? EX Super Saiyan 2 Goku. Now, I'm going to say EX Super Saiyan 2 Goku for... Hold up. Okay, just had to make sure I was recording, because if I'm not, I would be a little upset. EX Super Saiyan 2 Goku. Now, he is very old. I think he came with Videl, actually. So, kind of makes sense where he's at. Number 7. How do I say this? He can do damage, and his ability is very good. But he has to get tap attacked or something. He needs something to happen to him. And to get tap attacked is not very hard because everyone goes for taps to kind of reset the fight. People go for tap baits. So people are trying to like tap blast you. Well, you're going to screw them over if they hit you 3 times. This guy's getting 90% strike damage, cannot be cancelled. And then he's giving allied damage. He's a support unit by him getting hit. The only thing he doesn't have is cut to everyone. He just has it against Vegeta. But on the off chance that you have, let's say, Angel Vegeta, which really isn't that rare, you could have this guy be healing and sustaining more so he can get up to that 90% and up to more support for, let's say, whoever. Let's say you're running a melee based build of Saiyans and it's this guy, this guy, Angel Vegeta, and then, I don't know, Super Gogeta. You have 2 support units, one's healing, one's giving you damage inflicted. There's not really a negative to this guy, besides he needs more tanking, but it's an EX unit. Again, he's one of those that kind of acknowledges it, so he knows, like, okay, well, if I get hit, at least when I die, I'll give my allies 20% damage inflicted by, you know, himself. But if he does get tap attack, tap blasted, he can do a lot of damage, and he is honestly a very scary unit when he gets up to his 90%. Like, truly he is terrifying when he gets there. It's just hard to get him there. Honestly, I might have rated him a little higher than he deserves, but the support is what makes him higher. So that was number 7. Now, number 6... yeah. So I was going to have someone else on this list. I was going to have this Trunks on this list, and I decided against it because EX Future Gohan came out and he replaced him. That Trunks has, I believe, what, main ability healing for... No, I think something heals. I think his green card heals something. Yeah, restores on health with green card. He reduced damage received, reduced damage received again, but he's just not offensive enough. Again, this is the scenario where EX unit is not acknowledging that they are squishy. I really cannot speak. It is early in the morning. I apologize. He's not acknowledging that he is squishy because he's trying to tank when he has these stats. And yes, I know he's newer, but just look at the stats. You're like, even at 14 stars, you're not going to be able to tank with this guy. That's what EX Roshi has at 7 stars. His stats right here are the same as EX Roshi's at 7 stars. This guy is just too squishy to be included on the list. So, in replacement of him, yeah, I'm gonna put him. EX Yamcha. Now, Super Warriors are not the best team in the game. Again, this list is determined based more off the assumption that the team is very good, and Super Warriors are not that great. But this EX Yamcha does not need to be run on Super Warriors. EX Yamcha can be run on a red, green, Super Warriors, anything. You could obviously run it with like Legends Road Piccolo, let's say, and, you know, cancel their buffs, lock in with Yamcha, boom. They really can't lift that combo from Yamcha. Yamcha's attack is just too damn high. His blast stat is actually good. 240k on an EX, plus he has that 25% that the EX equipment gives. Plus his other equipment aren't terrible because that unique equipment for Super Warriors is actually very viable. Main ability, inflicts all enemies with no switching for 10 timer counts, and restores own ki by 50. Again, a lock-in for 10 counts is fucking crazy. Any lock-in is crazy. And that applies Flying Effect Self if a tag Super Warrior or Red in this character is a battle member. Plus 20% blast damage, then he has plus 30% right there. Then he has more blast damage here, and card draw speed. The only thing is, he has to have allies alive, but if that lock-in's so quick, you can just lock someone in early match, boom, get them killed. It's crazy what he can actually do damage-wise, and plus, he has this effect, plus 20% to damage inflicted by allies when he dies. So he's giving that, you know, I mentioned it a few times, he's acknowledging he is squishy, so he is helping his team at the end of it all. He can do his damage, he can lock in, he can kill, and at the end, he can even help his allies by giving them at least 20%, which is more than nothing, right? So, that was, I believe, number 6. Was it? Yeah. So, number 5. It's not a Zenkai yet, funny enough. And I don't even think 3 of these Zenkais make this list. I think 4 of them do. But number 5 is EX Gogeta. He has aged alright. You know, Super Gogeta does exist and he does replace him. But I've found that, let's say you run a red-green Fusion Warrior team, he's still there, he's still competent. That 70% cut he has for the first combo, given if they just tap blast or tap attack you, you could avoid it, but if they hit you with it, that cut's gone. This guy is just too much damage, and he has card draw speed with his whole entire team, and I believe he supports to an extent? I think he supports somewhere. Yeah. Applies full effects to allied Fusion Warrior when this character switches standby. He gives damage inflicted up to 30% and ki, so it's better than 0, you know. And he actually is that case where it's a negative. He doesn't acknowledge that he is an EX unit, so he has that 70% cut, but he doesn't like force that he's like, oh, I'm going to be super tanky. It's like the first combo, sure, he's tanky, but then he kind of diminishes it and loses it, and then from there on, he gets the card draw speed, he gets the damage. So it's, they give him both like ends of the sword. Like it's, one is you can tank for a little bit, one is you can do damage. Basically like Super Saiyan Blue, Zenkai 7 Goku, he's tanking the beginning. Then as the match goes on, he gets card draw speed, more damage inflicted, buffing allies. EX Gogeta has a similar effect here, where, you know, he can tank early game, first combo, and then from there you learn how the opponent plays, you get better and better, and then from there you can just support, go into Red Gogeta, go into Kefla, because Kefla is still aged phenomenally, and, well, fuck your opponent, because it's a full melee-based team that's going to have a lot of strike arts and a lot of card draw speed, because this guy has card draw speed. Whatever. Gogeta has card draw speed, and Kefla has infinite card draw speed. He's very good. I'm surprised how well he has aged since the last anniversary. Honestly, I should do a video on him, but I don't... I hate running fusions. So, at number 4, I want you guys to tell me. It's going to be EX Zenkais from now on, right? Who do you guys think is number 4? I'll give you a hint. It is not the bottom 3. So it is either Gohan, Krillin, Cell, or Frieza. Let me know who you guys think is number 4. Pause this video, come back. Number 4. Number 4 is EX Cell. EX Cell is very slept on because Android 21 exists, and I agree, Android 21 is fucking crazy, but EX Cell can do more damage to Saiyans, to androids, I believe. Yeah. Plus 30% to blast damage inflicted against tag android. Plus 50% to blast damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Then he does more to Saiyans. And overall, he's essentially EX Yamcha without, like, the restraint of having allies alive. This EX Cell can do very good damage. Only unfortunate thing is his green card is a long animation. Blue card is not that damaging because its multiplier is not that high. But his blast damage is nothing to laugh at. It is honestly really, really good. The teams you could run him on, I would say you would be more suited running him on a Future with Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta supporting him because he can get a lot of damage stacking, and that stacking with his uniques is going to be pretty high fucking damage output. But you could run him on a blue yellow or blue purple regen team with DKP, this guy, and 21. Again, he'd have a lot of damage stacking because 21 is going to give double buff to this guy because he's regen and android. This guy is very good and honestly very slept on because Android 21 exists, which is a shame because I love running this guy in my free time for fun. Number 3. This is actually hard to say because I want to say Krillin is number 3, and I also want to say Frieza is number 3 because both have a spot to where they very much fall off, and I feel like Frieza has that just a little bit more because it's reliant on who you're facing. Frieza wants to face Saiyans. Krillin is just, you know, kind of existent to support his team, which I feel like is better for EX unit. But the only reason I want to say Frieza is better than Krillin is because Saiyans are meta relevant, so EX Krillin is number 3. If you don't know what he does, essentially, he wants to die. And like I've said a million times, units that want to die that are EXs are the best units in the game. Funny enough, this is completely counterpointed with the last unit, and you know who that is at this point, right? It's completely countered by him, but it's a different situation for him. EX units that want to die are the best, because they acknowledge their stats are shitty. Krillin acknowledges his stats are not up to snuff, so he wants to die. He can do his damage, sure, but he wants to die. His main ability, draw a special move arts card, plus 20% to damage inflicted by allies, and shorten ally sub count by 5. He has damage inflicted there, more damage inflicted, and gives Goku extra damage buffs. And then when he dies, inflicts all enemies to attribute downgrade, plus 10% to damage received for 30 time accounts, increases on Dragon Ball by 1, and inflicts enemy attribute downgrade, plus 5 to all arts cost for 20 timer counts. Krillin wants to die, and he's essentially just going to buff his Namek Gokus, you know, Ultra Goku, the new one that's coming, for Goku Day, whoever, any Goku, but typically you want to buff those because those are the best suited blue card Gokus. Let's say, you know, LF Namek Goku obviously has one of the best blue cards in the game, debatably, you know, controversially, because he could either be the best or the worst, how you play him, but one of the best if you just ask a general person. Krillin wants to die, and he can do good damage. That's all that's needed. He's that simple. Now, number 2, yes, EX Frieza, as I said. Firstly, fire art. Look at that stat spread. It's fucking crazy. That's why he's higher up, along with what I said before. More 2 Saiyans. Look at those Saiyan stuff. Actually, only has 1 unique per Saiyans, but it's probably the biggest unique because reduced damage received is very important. This guy has a lot of blast damage. He is going to fuck you if you are a Saiyan and he is attacking. He just does crazy blast damage. Honestly, it's because his stat spread is so fucking overwhelming on top of his uniques. Blast damage inflicted, 20% damage inflicted, yeah, by allied tag Frieza Force. And then plus 20% damage inflicted again. And then attribute downgrade plus 20% of damage inflicted by blast. He's going to do a lot of blast damage, and that's the whole point. That's why he's number 2. His damage is just too fucking good on his blast darts against Saiyans. Honestly, against anyone, but against Saiyans primarily. Now, the one that people will probably disagree and be like, no, EX Frieza is better. Future Gohan. Honestly, he's the reason I made this list. Apologize for my stuttering, by the way. I'm just like 20 minutes into this recording, and it's full one take, so apologize. EX Future Gohan. Now, to go through, his stats are worse than Frieza, funny enough, but it does not matter. Now, let me explain this, because I feel like people will not understand, because he is newer, for 1, and 2, people maybe don't have the best teams to run this guy. I would say LOE is pretty sparing with who you can run EX Frieza with. You know, you can run him with LF Frieza, you can run him with Zenkai 7 Cooler. 2 units who you should probably own at this point if you're going to run that EX Frieza. EX Gohan wants to be run primarily alongside Blue Zenkai 7 Trunks, and or, you know, you could run it with Yellow Goten, but usually you'd run it with LF Gohan Zenkai 7. So you have red, green, blue, right? Not the greatest color synergy, but enough to where you can kind of, you know, keep your opponent at bay. This guy is the definition of the opposite of what I just said the entire video. EX units acknowledging that they are not tanks. He does not acknowledge that. This Gohan can get up to, I believe, 60% cut. If we look at his uniques here, he has reduced damage received by 15% right there. Then he has cover cut again, 40% until cover when combo ends. So 55% cut, actually. Yeah, that's... Wait, am I an idiot? Can I do math? Yeah, 55%. I thought it was something else. Okay, 55% cut. With his stat spread, with his team, with his synergy, on hybrids primarily, because this is where he wants to go. He is now replacing Goku Black. He replaces Green Kid Trunks. Firstly, he is strike-based Green Kid Trunks. Secondly, this Gohan is blast-based. Thirdly, Green Kid Trunks holds 2 strikes, I believe. Fourthly, Gohan holds strike and blast. And on another note, his green card, healing himself, his main ability, healing allies, gives you more sustain with LF Gohan, because yes, LF Gohan is still your powerful powerhouse, but this Gohan's no slouch. Blue Zenkai 7 Trunks, if he were bad, I would say this Gohan falls down. But Blue Zenkai 7 Trunks being so good, and I'm talking about Super Saiyan 2, by the way, not the Legends Road. Blue Zenkai 7 Trunks being so good makes this Gohan so much better than he honestly deserves to be. Because that 40% on top of the 20% there, on top of the 45% here, that's a lot of fucking damage. And the thing is, it's not even that his damage is good, it's that hybrid supporting him is so good. Because LF Gohan's giving blast damage when he's swapping. Future Trunks is giving blast damage and damage inflicted when he's swapping. Plus, he's drawing a blue card for your Gohan, who gets damage inflicted when his blue card is used, not even hit, just used. Then you have green cards that can come out of thin air and heal this guy, or that can heal Trunks. There's not really too much negatives to him. I would say the only thing is, yes, he has that syndrome of trying to tank when he is an EX, and that is not great, but he is the tankiest EX in the game. So it's like, he kind of works around that by being the best tank in the game. I don't know. I would say this guy's not head and shoulders above Frieza, but he's head and shoulders above Krillin, and I think Gohan and Frieza are their own tier of EX units. Like they are the Z tier of EX units. I think Gohan is essentially the LF Gohan of EX units, and EX Frieza is the Android 18. Very swappable, but I think you can kind of see where EX Gohan outshines EX Frieza. But yeah, that's my top 10 EX units, Zenkai and or not. Ones you might think should have made the list are probably Nappa. I would say Nappa just isn't as good. His damage is fine, but it's just his team synergy isn't the greatest. His reliance on just strikes only is kind of sad. And yes, Gohan has that reliance as well, but in Gohan's defense, you use those strike arts with Blue Trunks to get the bleed. So that's where you store those strike arts for this EX Future Gohan. So I know people will attack me over his strike arts being complete dog shit damage, but that's where I could swift that into Blue Trunks, who can get a bleed, which is obviously a lot better than Future Gohan's shitty attack stat for strike attack. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you disagree or agree. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.